Someone came up to me about 6 months ago and said, Mark, I think you should run for sheriff. And I said, well, I'm not a political man by any means. And I said, I'm just a cop. And he said, but everything you've done in 30 years, and you love the county, you've been coaching for 20 some years. He goes, why don't you bring it back and then help our sheriff's office? I've been teaching at the academy up here for about 6 years now, and I got done doing a human trafficking case. It was the largest case in the country. It started here in Warren County. So far that we were bringing people in from Thailand to get to the head of the snake, is how we would call it. Crime is here, and I'm not trying to make a down point on tonight because this music that's being played tonight is great. But I want to preserve what I moved here when I got out of the military and raised a family in. I want to preserve this great county. This is a great county. I've spent 20 years in law enforcement and never had to worry about my wife and children at home because of the people and the surroundings. My kids went to LFK, the middle school in Warren County. I've coached thousands of kids here, and a lot of them are just great kids, most of them are. I think if we put forth back into the community the way true community policing is supposed to be done, and I'm not saying it's not done that way now, I just think we can get better with it. We can go into our communities and treat everybody with the respect so it's not the split that we have in our country today. And that's why we have issues. We have issues today in law enforcement because our community really is almost afraid of law enforcement. Well, I want to train our kids. I want to start a youth academy. I've already talked with somebody about possibly even being able to start vocational through the high school on criminal justice. Because I had so many kids in the high school saying, hey, coach, I want to be a cop like you. I'm going to go study criminal justice. I'm like, no, don't study criminal justice. Study business management so you can manage a police department. I want to be able to teach the kids the constitutional rights. In law enforcement, we only have two jobs, Robbie and I and Mr. Figgins. And hats off to them because they're both retired, and I thank them for all the service they've done for us. We have two things. Our job in law enforcement is to enforce the laws that the people vote on, to live by. Our second job is to protect your constitutional rights and make sure they're not violated. After that, it's a simple job. How are you today? How are you today? And actually speak to the community. Get out of your car. And I know Robbie Seal does. And me standing up here, you got that man to blame back there because he's the one that said, Mark, you need to run for sheriff. And I thought he was crazy. But I will tell you, in the last 4 months, we've been exploring the thought of it. And Danny made me come out tonight and basically tell y'all I'm running for sheriff. Because I'll probably get in trouble when I go back to my committee. But when I sat down with Robbie and we said, hey, are we going to do this? We started asking certain people in the area. Richard Furr, George McIntyre, Janice Hart, several others that are just given to this community. And when I asked them, told them what I wanted to run on, what I wanted to do, they did not just say, yeah, I'll support you. They asked if they could be a part of our committee. That is the most humbling thing. For Mr. Figgins to sit there tonight and say, Mark, will you come up and speak on what you want to do? I've already won, whether or not I win in the election or not. I've already won. So I'm going to tell you this, we're just now starting out, and let's be honest, we got a long way to go. January, I'll formally announce, but I can promise you, no one will ever work harder than me. No, our sheriff's office, if elected, will be held at the highest standards. If you don't have honor, integrity, and courage, you won't last there. And that's all I ask. So with that, I'm not as nervous now because Robbie's sitting back there filming me and smiling. But I want to thank y'all very much for letting me speak. All you have to do is ask me any question. I'll be more than happy. And actually, if you have any questions for me, I'll take one or two real quick. All right. Y'all, thank you very much.